Welcome back to Appalachian Dim Sum,
where entertainment is our comfort food.
And this is episode 58, which is our appetizers for the month.
Yes.
First off, apologies for anybody who listened to the last few episodes. The mics that we had was banging on the top of my laptop, and
we've been fighting this battle, and we're conceding right now that we don't know enough about the audio portions of doing these things to try to take it to that next professional level.
Yeah,
I'm back to a lapel mic.
Yeah, we got the little lapel mic.
I've got it snapped onto some connects from my kid's room. I made a stand. That's fine. That's all we need. We're not.
Well, it's kind of got to the point to where the solutions that we're finding that might fix the issues is like, I need a new computer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I've been battling OBS for this and for the other thing that I do on YouTube. And just finding that, like, when you run all these programs, the computers that we have are not capable of processing enough to produce a high quality video. And I think that's half of the reason we sounded like robots during portions of it, is that it just can't process, it can't decode or encode, whatever the right word is, all the data fast enough. Both. Yeah. So who knows? We'll stick a phone on a grid wall and go with that.
We'll do what we can with what we have, with the time we have, I guess.
We're restructuring the show a little bit too. Mm-hmm. Appetizers is starting a new month for us. Usually we may start to just kind of run through a series, and it might, in 1 month, we might actually get back around to Appetizers again.
Yeah.
Don't know if we'll keep stretching the shows out. I think we've definitely decided to kind of abandon the trailer thing. It's just too hard to, one, find anything that's interesting, and two, fight YouTube. I don't understand. I turn on YouTube and see 10 million videos of people like, here's a trailer, and I'm making stupid faces all the way through it. And how they get that there, I don't know. But
I do have some ideas of the way we might be able to incorporate trailers into shorts or something. But the idea of having a whole show that's dedicated just to trailers, that is, one, compelling. I think that was one of the things we were struggling with, is we were like, it's a trailer. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know much else to say. So that was definitely one of the issues with that content. So that's we're thinking we're gonna nix that. We're gonna separate our schedule from the month, the actual week.
Yeah,
but like the way we've been doing it, and we would have an episode every Monday, and it was always the first Monday of the month was Appetizers.
Yeah.
If there was a fifth month, we would have a leftovers episode. But we're thinking just separate the episodes from the week and just do appetizers, main course, and dessert. Appetizers, main course, dessert. Just keep that going.
They'll land where they land.
Yep.
And if we get to something that's too big to kind of take on in one episode, we might do the main course for two different episodes.
Yeah, main course and second helpings or something.
Yeah.
So it's I guess we're going to be less rigid with the format.
Yeah, and
which is fine.
Try to keep it to a shorter format too.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing for us. If we can get it down to like an hour and a half, that'd be great. Yeah. That the last episode was 2.5 hours. So
too many segments probably.
Yeah.
But this one is Appetizers leading to our main course of Akira, the anime movie from 1988. Won't really get into talking about that much in this first section, because our Appetizers is what we've been watching.
Right.
So this will be a little bit more of a random selection of things, and then we'll get into Akira on the next one, and maybe the one after that. We haven't decided yet. There's a lot to talk about with Akira.
Surprising amount. Well, with that, since it's Akira, and we always try to theme our food around the main topic in some way, Akira doesn't have a lot of food, so that was an issue.
It's basically like a bar that they go to, and they don't do a lot of eating there, and it's just kind of...
At the bar, the one dude that orders a drink gets like water.
Yeah.
So, okay.
There's somebody gets something spilled on them at that early part. I forget what it is, but it's like a Neo Tokyo, sort of a cyberpunk Blade Runner type environment for the movie. So that is kind of people living out of convenience stores and doing snacks and all that kind of stuff. So as it so happened, it's been about a month or so now. I was at C2E2, the comic show in Chicago. We stay at Chinatown, and there's a awesome like imported snack store right next to where we stay. So that's going to be our appetizers. As we actually, I've been holding these, and again, who knows what's in these things, but I'm pretty sure they last probably longer than we'll be alive. Yeah. So we picked up a handful of I don't know, I always want to say Japanese, but they're not. I guess Asian snacks.
Yeah. What we got?
We got a black truffle flavor Lay's.
Sounds fancy.
And these are all, if you ever seen these like Asian packaged ones too, I'm pretty sure we'll see this in a second. I think you open this and they're all in a tray. Like there's a tray that comes out, if I remember these right. I think it's a little bit smaller size than what we get, which makes sense because we consume portions that elephants shouldn't consume. But grab that. They always have these like random flavors, and you sit there and look at it. It's like, that might be good, that might be nasty, and this one sounded good. So
and this one's cucumber flavor.
I have no idea I don't have an image for or anything in my mind for what cucumber tastes like.
Yeah, cucumber is just kind of like it's like a watery taste.
Yeah. So
okay,
I got that more as a curiosity.
Yeah.
There are a lot of like hot spicy things. There's things that are squid and seafood flavored and stuff like that. And I was like, we'll try these. These actually sounded good. So
I'm looking forward to it.
But don't want it to be like one of those like shows where like it's like a gross out thing, or you're
crunch.
Or you're burning yourself with something so hot just to be like, haha, look at it.
Yeah, we don't like the idea of eating on camera.
Yeah.
We will never do, like, if we ever do anything, it would be like a food prep thing, like this is what we're making kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll never do like a mukbang or whatever where people just like crunch, and like the ASMR with the crunching and something. No, that's gross. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. People from this country trying food from this country for the first time. Oh. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy those. I like seeing people try American food, because so often online people disparage American food. They're like there's no food is actually American food. Well, if you actually get into American cuisine, there's some really good food that has been developed in America.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But we're not going to try that today. We're going to try cucumber flavor Lay's and black truffle. Well, they're not Pringles, they're Lay's.
Yes. Yeah.
Lay's stacks.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back and tell you about those.
All right.
All right, welcome back. This is going to be our discussion about Monster Hunter.
Yeah, this is our first of our appetizers, and this is one that you selected because you just watched. And
watched it.
I have seen it. It's been a little bit, and I don't think maybe I stayed with it all the way through. I like the premise of it, and it got, I don't know, I think I fell asleep and I woke up at a really bad spot or something, but I'll let you get into the show. I woke up to like Ron Perlman dressed as like a caveman, like jumping around off stuff, and I was like, what? Is this the same movie?
It's funny they said that because this took me a couple times to get through, because I had that exact issue. It's not the most compelling film in the world. It's just I really felt like go ahead.
It feels to me like it's one of those things that they had an idea for a movie and they tried to tie it to a video game that was not very related to it.
I thought that exact thing.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way that this was based off of the Monster Hunter franchise. They just wanted to make
played those games, but I've seen them in all the Nintendo stuff that because we've always been around Pokemon and Switches and things like that, and always kind of wanted to get into them, but we just don't play a lot of video games. I'm familiar with all of that imagery, and then you see this, and it's like, what? There's Marines and driving the desert and Humvees, and
and it seemed like that was an easy conclusion to make, but it's not true. The Paul W.S. Anderson has been trying to make a Monster Hunter film based off of his love of the video game franchise since like 2008, 2009. And he's been rewriting the script, all sorts of different versions of the script, and finally they were able to make it.
And they got to this?
They got to this.
Okay.
Because as I was watching it, in my head, I was thinking, this should have been this kind of film. This should have been like a Hunger Games kind of film that takes place in the Monster Hunter world, sure. But like there's a young Monster Hunter like not a person from our world, a person from their world, and they have to like prove themselves. That seemed like it would be an easy movie like to develop.
There's surely a character he could have put his wife Mila into a role and not had to make her the main one. But
and
I don't know how that relationship works. So.
And the issue, I don't think. Now, I do think plot wise, it would have been better to have like a younger character, a coming of age kind of story. But still, if he wanted his wife to be the main character, she could have been like someone who's been in the tribe for a long time, and she's, I don't know, has a kid, or she's adopted somebody, or she finds a kid or something.
Remember, like the old lady at the beginning of Titanic?
Yeah.
When the movie starts off, and then you go back and you get whoever it is that plays Rose. I forget her name.
I see what you're saying. Have a younger version of them.
Yeah. If you want your older wife to be the main character, air quotes, in the movie, then do it through a series of flashbacks. But
my only thought is maybe the only way he could get it greenlit, like financially, is to have this isekai kind of thing where you had people from our world going into their world.
Yeah. That's
the only thing I think of, that this is the only version of the script that he could actually get someone to pay for.
Yeah. I have not looked into this to see kind of what it went through, but it's interesting to do that with movies, to get in that. I've seen that in a lot of the Stephen King stuff we were just talking about in our previous episodes, about the journey that some of these things go through, from somebody wanting to produce them to somebody actually having to write a screenplay with it, and then ownership of those screenplays getting tossed around, and then studios getting involved and be like, no, you're not doing this, or you can do this. And it really is a wonder sometimes that some movies even get made. And it really does explain, though, sometimes how you get to stuff like this. But
and I don't
know if this is a movie you enjoyed or not. Not trying to trash it, but it just, I remember I watched it and I was just like, I don't know what this is. And
it really feels like, and understandably so, it feels like there were two movies that they wanted to make.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get either greenlit, so they shoved them together, and they were like, well, let's make this movie. Because the idea of American soldiers, or soldiers in general, soldiers from our world, being pulled into a fantasy world where they have to contend with like fantasy monsters, that's kind of cool. Yeah. It's almost like that Reign of Fire film. Yeah, great. Soldiers against monsters. Great idea. And then you have the whole Monster Hunter culture, and
it seemed to me like when I watched it,
it clashes.
Am I not remembering right, or did I fall asleep too early? Was there not a lot of monster in it?
There were like two. I mean, there were some smaller monsters, but really you had the Diabolos, which is what is like he's the main looking one that's on all the posters and everything.
Yeah.
And then you had, oh goodness, the dragon. I forget the name, what he's called. Yeah. Monster Hunter film.
That's one of the reasons I've always been such a fan of like Pacific Rim, is because that movie is selling giant robots fighting kaiju, and for easily 75%, probably 85% of that movie, you're either looking at a giant robot, or you're seeing a kaiju, or you're watching them fight. And I'm like, this is what I came to see. So
I'm on the Game Rant, and it gives us all the monsters that appear in the Monster Hunter film, and there are 6. There's supposed to be this world of monsters, and they give us 6 of them.
Okay.
Apsaros, which is like a goodness, it's like a, I don't even know the name of the dinosaur, like almost like a Stegosaurus kind of dinosaur looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
You got that, and then you have Nursulus, which is just a giant spider. Diabolos, which is the thing in the beginning that's swimming around in the sand. Then Magala, which is essentially a dragon. Okay, so you had I think I even confused these two in the film. Then you have the Rathalos, okay, which is an elder dragon.
Okay.
And then, well, this isn't even the cat guys, the chefs. That's not even really a monster. So they had 5 monsters.
Yeah.
The movie ended. I don't know if you even got to this. The movie ended in a complete cliffhanger. So, do you remember the tower in it? So the premise is there's this tower, and they were like, this is ancient technology from people that were here before us or whatever. and it connects the different universes. That's like the world nexus. I don't think this sounds familiar.
So the Dark Tower
Yeah.
from Stephen King?
It was literally just a black tower in the distance, and they were trying to get to it. That's the whole thing. It's get to the tower. And the tower is like pulling people from our world into their world.
Cool idea, bro.
Right.
Have you played the video game at all?
I played Monster Hunter World for a while, but it's one of those things where the game is built around like co-op play.
Okay.
And
you just get mauled if you're not.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. And I wasn't joining other people to play, so I got to a point to where I couldn't really progress any further.
Yeah.
It's a fun game, but it's its own world. To me, it would be like having a movie. You're like, let's make a Lord of the Rings film, but let's have cowboys unexpectedly end up in the in Middle Earth.
Yeah.
What?
Or let's take the hobbits to 1984 New York. I'm like, it's like what?
Hobbits in Manhattan. That might have been greenlit at some point.
Yeah, it's called The Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah, right. But one of my criticisms of this film, this is one of those films where I enjoyed it because it's a Mila Jovovich film.
Yeah,
like
that was why I watched it.
Yeah.
I think whenever it became available on whatever platform I watched it on,
mm-hmm.
I was like, I enjoy the Resident Evil movies. I couldn't even tell you which one is which.
Yeah.
They're dumb.
Yeah.
They're not memorable. I like stupid action movies, and I like Mila Jovovich.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'll try this because it's probably just Resident Evil with dragons. And it really wasn't, at least at the point that I stayed conscious through.
If you want to see some cool set pieces with cool looking monsters and a little bit of ridiculous action, it'll scratch that itch, but it's not it's not anything like the game. It really doesn't. The game, it's wearing the game as a skin suit, and the plot is about as thin as you can get. They get pulled. The American soldiers are looking for some other soldiers that have gone missing. They get pulled into this world. They find out those soldiers are dead. Oh well, now let's get to that tower in the distance because we got to try to get back to our place. Got to try to get back home. They make it there, and then the people from the Monster Hunter world make it to our world, including monsters, and then they're like, Ron Perlman's character is like, I'm not going to let these monsters invade your world, and then they jump and they're all like starting to attack the Magala, the big dragon, and then the movie ends. It's just a cliffhanger. It's like there's going to be more of these. No, there's not.
Last show that we did with our business was in Huntsville, Alabama. And they usually get a pretty decent batch of celebrities down there, and Perlman was there. And it's kind of one of my favorite things about going to Comic-Cons at this point, because all these people in Hollywood have kind of, I guess you've kind of reached that point to where they've exposed themselves as people that are not that impressive, and they talk too much.
Oh, yeah.
And they get political about everything, and it's like, man, you're just making movies. It's like you're not who you think you are. We ran into him in the parking lot. I don't know if he's old and senile. It seemed like he was like wandering around the parking lot looking for his ride or something. And I look down at Ron Perlman. It's like, oh, you're Hellboy.
He's small.
That's cute.
Okay, that's funny.
That's what cracks me up with all of them is all these big guys. And you're like, oh, didn't he do something on? I don't remember what the thing was, or he was mad at Ron DeSantis, and he was taking a video of himself up really close and like growling, gritting his teeth like he was going to kick somebody's butt. I'm like, my wife could have mugged you. I was like, you're a little tiny old man who plays dress up as a big person. Kind of made me laugh too that he's in Huntsville. He's pretty open about hating pretty much everybody that's whatever conservative, whatever group of people. And he went to one of the reddest places on in the country to try to sell pictures of himself and beg for money. I'm like,
it's interesting that he the roles he chooses to play then, because the kind of roles he plays to that like base.
Wants to be a tough guy, but he's like Robert. He's not as bad as Robert De Niro, but he's kind of in that category of people that I used to think was kind of cool because of the roles they played, and then you've actually seen them talk, and you're like,
we're gonna talk about that in a little bit with the movie with Henry Cavill that I watched.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that idea a little bit more a little bit later.
I'm sure because I've seen him on. My wife watches all these British shows, and he's on those things all the time. And he might actually be a bigger dude. I don't know, but it seems like he's
like 6'2", 6'4", something.
Okay,
like that.
so he's not massive. But
No, he's not massive. No.
I always kind of figured that all these guys, even the guys that play Superman, it's the same thing with Evans and Captain America. He's like, yeah, he's a big tough guy. I was like, isn't he cute?
But with the back to Monster Hunter, the majority of the film takes place in the desert, and that was, to me, that was probably the biggest disappointment about the film.
I've always thought it was like sort of a
tropical.
Yeah, I've always pictured it in like mountains and stuff from the little images I've seen, but I've never played it, so I'm just.
Well, they have different biomes. Like you do go to a desert area at some point, kind of thing. But in general, a part of the coolness of the Monster Hunter world is, the monsters are cool, but also like the fauna or the flora. Excuse me, the flora is cool. The plants are awesome. It's always like when you think of like Precambrian Earth kind of thing. It's like, well, looks like what the dinosaurs would have been in. And so to have the majority of the film take place just in the desert, in the middle of nothing, with nothing in the background, it's visually it's kind of boring. And I think that's one of the reasons you fall asleep in it, because you're like, okay, they're running across the desert. There's a monster. They fight the monster. They got to run across the desert some more. It's like, come on. Yeah. There is a part where they do get to like an oasis area, and then they meet Ron Perlman's character, who can speak English. And that was another thing, is I did really like the decision to have the two main characters speak different languages and not let us know what that foreign language was saying.
Yeah,
I did like that. The interaction between them, trying to figure out what the other person was saying. One of the things I thought was kind of cute, had nothing to do with the game or anything, but she gave the main character, Mila Jovovich's character, gave the other guy some chocolate, and she was like, no, you can eat it. And she ate it, and he ate it, and it was great. He was like, this is wonderful. And she was like, chocolate. So he took chocolate as meaning like great. So he would, throughout the rest of the film, something would happen. He'd be like, chocolate. He's like, that's cute. I like that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Ron Perlman's character, I thought when watching it, was like, oh, so he's someone else from our world. No, he's from that world. It's just apparently people from our world came to their world long ago, and he learned the language from them. I'm like, that's so lazy.
Yeah.
At one point, I thought because they were talking about the Dark Tower, I'll call it that, being ancient technology from people before. I was like, okay, so are they insinuating that maybe the Monster Hunter world is our future? No. I mean, they kind of they like looked in that direction, and they were like, no, we're not going there. That it's supposed to be like different dimensions.
2020 movie. I honestly thought it was much older than that. Because I had
the exact opposite reaction when I watched it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, 2020? I thought this came out like 2 or 3 years ago, not 5.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. I don't think that'll end up on my shelf of movies anytime soon. Unless somebody gives it to me, and I'll probably still donate it to Goodwill if they do.
I won't go as far as saying I disliked it. I just wasn't impressed by it. Yeah. I would tell someone who tells me that they love the Resident Evil films, like I do, and they're a big Mila Jovovich fan, and I'm like, okay, so you enjoyed the last few Resident Evil films? Yeah, they were okay. I'm like, okay, you should watch Monster Hunter because it's also okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Or you could just go back and just watch another Resident Evil movie that you do enjoy.
Watch Reign of Fire. That's better.
My whole thought every time I see this movie or anything about the game is I always go back and think about Shadow of the Colossus, and what a great game that was, and how that would be such a cool movie if somebody could make it, and right after that, just realizing that there's nobody that can make it without screwing it up. They have to interject something. There have to be some witty character that would be doing Marvel lines, or there have to be some kind of representation that's not part of the game. It's literally just a guy and monsters and him interacting with the place like where all the souls are, and that's the movie. But
you see, if I were going to make a Shadow of the Colossus film, I think what I would want to do is make the Colossus like make one Colossus like the thing for the film. He's got to get to the top of that Colossus and got to kill it, and that'll solve all his problems. But like once he kills it, you realize there are like 8 more of these things.
I want to see all the monsters. I just want it to start just like the game does. Here's what's going on. You get on your horse and you start seeking them out one by one. And I don't need discussion. I don't need another character to make it more interesting. I just want to see him climbing up monsters, having one monster chasing through the sand, all the different stuff that's in that game. It's so cool. It'd be such an awesome movie. But no, there's I don't
just play the game again.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's play the game again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Monster Hunter, it was a movie.
At some point, I'll find a Monster Hunter game on sale somewhere, and it'll be once we get our Switch too.
Yeah. They have oh goodness, there's a Monster Hunter Switch games that are like good single player.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into them, but they look pretty good.
I thought by now this year we would have a Switch 2 and
stories, Monster Hunter Stories.
Okay.
There's 1 and 2.
Everything that I keep thinking, it's like, well, maybe something will happen and prices will get better. It's like, nope.
No.
I just bought some movies the other day off of Amazon. Last time I bought DVDs, they were $12, $14.
Yeah. $40.
I couldn't find anything that wasn't like $26, $27.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
well, if you buy something new nowadays, like from Best Buy or whatever, it's like $35, $40.
Yeah. Or trying to drive you to their streaming services by just controlling that side of the industry too. So,
yep. All right.
I keep saying I'm going to be back with just a library card here, probably in the next 10 years.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed what libraries have been able to offer. Monster Hunter was probably at a local library.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there are lots of cheap copies available.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got for that.
Okay. We'll come back with solo leveling for me.
Solo leveling.
Yep. All right, we're back to my first appetizer. My first appetizer, before I say that, I'm going to get into something. I'm just going to make sure I add the appetizers every time.
Oh.
I got my countdown clock still running for Godzilla Minus Zero. We're at 190 days, 7 hours, 26 minutes, and 25 seconds until its release.
All right.
So, I'm very anxious to get to the point where that's like not three digits on the days.
Yeah.
So we got a ways to go. But getting into solo leveling, I don't like to do anime series until I've seen the whole thing.
Right.
And I think this is probably going to get some more, but I've watched it till what's been released on it now, so I'm up to date on it.
And you're watching it on Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And watched this one with the wife, and she got into it as quickly as I did, which was a pretty good indication that it was worth watching. I'll say straight up, I think it's the best anime series I've watched since Attack on Titan.
Wow. That's high praise from you.
Yeah. I watched a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's fun, it's funny, and stuff like this. This series really drew me in and kind of blew me away.
Well, I know very little about it, but I have heard people talk about it like on the edges of my sphere of influence kind of thing.
Yeah. This season 1 of this thing was released January of 25 through March of the same year.
Okay.
And then I'm sorry, I think of 24. Yeah. And then season 2 was January of 25 till March of 25. So they did targeted little 3-month releases on these things. There's A1 Studios, which is part of Aniplex, which you say that if you get around people that know anime, you get eye rolls on Aniplex.
Really?
A lot. But I think it's because their release schedule is sometimes really bad.
Aniplex is one of those, like, you see the Aniplex cards, like the Aniplex.
Yeah.
And every time I see that, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I don't know. It's like nostalgia.
Maybe some of their things they don't get produced very quickly. And
No. Well, I watch everything in the rears. Like I'm usually watching stuff years after it comes out. So I'm not usually the kind of person like we are with like Dan to Dan. I'm like, well, when's the next one?
That's my frustration with anime. Even Dan to Dan Chainsaw Man has been long enough now that when the next stuff comes out, I'm going to still go back and watch it, because you watch other anime and it kind of gets convoluted and all this thing. But this is actually a South Korean anime. I always assumed pretty much everything on Crunchyroll was Japanese. and really never even thought about that or even noticed that that was a thing until halfway through the season, or what I might have been even the second season, where there are hunters in different parts of the world. They really portrayed the Japanese as a bunch of jerks.
Really?
And I was like, why would the Japanese company like be kind of trashing their own people like this? And it was like, oh, it's not. It's like South Korean. And it's like
Interesting.
South Korea is taking a shot across the bow there. Um, the world of this thing, I don't think I would have known this just from watching the show. Um, that there's a huge, larger developed world in the manga than there is what's presented in the show. So I had to look this up. And that again is what kind of draws me to this story, is that I was kind of blown away by what they had on what they'd animated, and that's just scratching the surface of the whole story of this thing. Um, but the idea is that dungeons started appearing like 10 years before the story happens, and they're magical gates between the earth and these other dimensions. And this is kind of getting into the stuff that they don't explain at all in the show. That the dungeons or these portals are deliberately created by what they call, capital R, the rulers, to infuse humans with magic and mana to strengthen them for an oncoming war with the monarchs, capital N.
Okay.
And I'm like, I didn't even know. After watching a season of that, it's like I didn't hear anything about monarchs, or if I did, it just blew over my head that they even, if they even mentioned them. And the rulers are created by the ancient being. They don't say exactly what that is. Monarchs are physical beings. The rulers are spiritual, and they have to possess what they end up calling hunters, in what they call the awakening. So when this all started happening in this world, you would get awakened, and you would all of a sudden have fighting abilities and things, but they were set, like, and they started to figure out that some people were really good, some people were kind of good, some people were not great, some people were not very good at all. So they started classing them.
What did it depend on?
Like your strength, your speed.
Yeah, but like, is there a reason why someone might be a lower rank than someone else?
I think it was because they're kind of creating, and I don't know that, again, I haven't read the manga. Kind of seemed to me like maybe they're creating sort of a hierarchy, so that you had leaders and you had soldiers and you had pawns, kind of thing. But whatever you are, you either are a hunter or you're not. You can't become one. And you're capped at whatever level they give you. There are only like a few S ranks in each country. That's the top one. And then there's A, B, C, and D. Then dungeons appear, and then they are measured and classified by like a rank, like what's in the dungeon.
It makes sense. This is a rank dungeon, so if you're rank C, don't go in.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that probably in the lore of the story they developed over time. It's like a dungeon opened up, they sent people in, they got slaughtered, they sent better people in, kind of figured out how to,
like, where the rank is,
how to measure the energy of the dungeon and all this kind of stuff. You send hunters in to close them. Inside there would be all kinds of stuff. There could be trolls, animals, knights, like mages, all kinds of like sort of mythical looking beasts. If the dungeon is not closed in 7 days, then the dungeon opens and everything that's in it can come out.
Okay.
And the story itself, that's all just sort of the backstory behind all of this thing.
That's the premise, the setting.
Yeah. And it focuses on Sung Jinwoo, they call him Jinwoo, who probably just out of high school age, 19 to 20 would be my guess, has a younger sister. His mom is terminally ill, and he's trying to figure out how to work so he can send his sister to college. He's kind of already conceded that he won't pursue a path like that he just needs to help her. And in this world with all the hunters and stuff, you can get paid to clear dungeons. There's associations and teams of people and all this stuff. It's become like this whole industry. Society, really. He is a class D. He is the weakest of the hunters that you can be. So he's basically
good premise for a main character. Okay.
Yeah, and then basically like a class D guy is like there to come in and carry supplies in for the other hunters. And part of what they harvest crystals and other loot and stuff out of the dungeons, and that's, I guess, what drives the economy of all this stuff.
And I'm just gonna assume that I'm probably getting ahead of the cart here, but this guy, unbeknownst to anybody else, for some reason, can actually increase in level.
We're getting to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great premise for a show. Yeah.
He goes into early in this thing goes into I think I can't remember if it's supposed to be a B or a C dungeon with B and C guys to defeat it. He's just supposed to be there to kind of help them. While they're in there, it opens to a second dungeon, and he's actually the tie-breaking vote that decides to go ahead and go see what's in that second dungeon. They go in there, and they get mauled. He holds the door so his friends can like escape, and gets killed. But because of maybe just his personality or whatever, he was like recognizing that there were rules on these statues that were all around the place, and was trying to put them in order and trying to follow them. And as he's like getting killed, a message on the like appears in front of him on like a screen, like a screen that just shows up in front of him, like a little computer monitor that said it declared that like you cleared the secret quest, which I guess was deciphering all the messages, and you may become a player. And like yes or no, and of course it's yes. He wakes up in the hospital, not even sure whether it actually happened or not, and there's the Hunter Association is there trying to sort of see what the deal is with this guy, what happened with all these people. They went into this like low rank dungeon, they all got killed, and how did he get out? That's kind of where the story starts. And then instantly when he's in the hospital, he starts getting messages that nobody can see, and they're like there's daily quests like do 100 push-ups and all these like little things.
Okay, yeah.
And then
it sounds like they took a gotcha game and put the gotcha mechanics into the story.
Yeah, and it's like he doesn't realize it, but there's penalty quests. Like if you don't complete the stuff, your daily stuff, then you have to go on you'll get thrown into a dungeon and have to fight your way back out.
Okay.
But as he does it and he kills like low level beasts and things, he levels up and starts to gain abilities. He finds loot boxes that have like keys and weapons and stuff, and he's the only person in this whole world that can do that. Like everybody else, you can get the loot boxes and the keys and the stuff, but you come out and sell it and stuff like that, and maybe buy yourself a better sword or better armor, but you never change your level. The Hunter Association comes in to check on him and see if he had a second awakening, which is a thing that can happen. It's very rare. I think that they're like, we've maybe seen it happen like one time or something. I don't remember those details. He still tests as a D, so he's not showing any change in level. And then it's weird, but it's really entertaining and it gets dark. There's a lot of stuff in the show that kind of gets dark, but not like creepy or bad. It's just like morally dark with the stuff. He joins a group that takes them in. Him and another kid they're basically taking them in there to sacrifice them so they can just get stuff out of the dungeon. But because he levels up and he's having all these screens and stuff pops up, like he kills the boss that these criminals thought was just gonna come and kill him. And then the screen pops up and it orders him to kill the group of people that brought him in there. So he gets ordered and he can't leave the dungeon, he can't do anything. So I think that's where it's these rulers that are kind of manipulating things, but you don't really understand that watching the show early.
From everything you're saying, to me, I'm just imagining the cartoon from the '90s Reboot.
Yeah, I did not see that. But...
Oh, okay. The premise of Reboot was there were characters all computers have people inside of them, and that's how computers work. Is they're like little cities.
Yeah.
And when someone loads a game in, there's this cube, the game cube comes down, and if the people inside the world, they get stuck inside the game cube, they become NPCs, and they have to defeat the player.
Yeah.
And it's just that the reason I'm thinking of this is it sounds like in this world where this guy exists, there are like video game mechanics, but to him, it's the real world.
Yeah, and to everybody else it is. It's like there's nobody else is seeing the same little screens, and nobody else is leveling up. It's like only happening with him.
Yeah, like these Monarch characters though, like they're almost like the external. They're the player, the game player,
and probably the rulers. The Monarchs are like the physical things that are in charge of. And he actually gets to where I didn't understand watching it that he actually encountered some of the actual Monarchs as the show goes on.
Okay.
He goes into a thing like where they send in prisoners that are hunter level people. To go because they're really short of hunters, and the whole little storyline with that is like that's the father of the victims worked out a deal to get them sent in there so he could have them all killed because they got lighter sentences than he wanted. So there's a lot of stuff like that where it's like It's like you think it's going to be like this little thing. These guys are just not going to listen, or they're going to try to steal stuff. And it's like, no, it's like the father of a victim that these guys assaulted worked out a deal to send them all in and get them all killed. And you're like, wow,
Okay, then.
that's kind of morally. It's one of those things you're like,
It's a good way to create people that are easily expendable and easily killable.
Yeah.
Be like, look, these guys are terrible because of this.
But like as
Watch them die.
As the show goes on, he starts mixing and going into groups, playing up being weak, and going into dungeons with them in like a support role, but then also going into dungeons on his own, and he's leveling up like mad. Like he's going into things that would be really high class things and fighting them all by himself and getting his powers just shot through the roof. And then the other side part of the story is like that he gets a potion in one of the loot boxes that says like it's like 1 of 3 parts and it can heal anything. And he's like, if it can heal anything, I could use this to. His mom's terminally ill, so that kind of becomes a sideline of the story that he's trying to get that. And then you get into like where the guilds start trying to recruit him. There's another story going on with like there's an island where one of the dungeons broke free and slaughtered like most of their really good hunters, and that place still exists.
But the island's overrun with the monsters.
Well, that the island is getting ready to open again, so the associations are trying to figure out how to go back and handle that. Excuse me. He goes in and fights, probably the first time he fights like one of the actual monarchs that you've seen in the whole thing, and kills him. And he has these minions of people. It's a couple episodes of this fight. He gains the title of like Shadow Monarch, which gives him the ability to resurrect anything that he kills and command it.
Okay.
And it's
necromancy,
kind of like a ghost form of it. You know, if like you got killed, he killed you, he could bring you back, and you'd be like this sort of like ghosty,
a lich. Yeah, I'm thinking D&D here now. Yeah,
and it's the ability is called like a rise. So he'll as he starts to go, he starts to accrue this like massive army of things that he can. Some of them are just low level soldiers, some of them are knight level things, some of them are like he actually gets one of the monarchs and controls it, and even gets to a spot to where like one of the girls gets hurt and they're not going to be able to get her out in time, and one of the healers gets killed, and he actually resurrects the healer to heal the girl, and they're like, you can't do that. It's like that's you can't, because you'll be in control of this guy. Like the guy that gets resurrected like lets him know, contacts him or something. Can't remember how that happened. That he's okay with it, and that he uses him to heal him, and then he just releases it, so the guy goes on and dies after.
Okay.
There's a lot of like stuff that's kind of heavy for for an anime, but I like that mixing that stuff in where it's not just this like silly fighting stuff, where they're kind of bringing in a little bit like Death Note, where you start to bring in some of the moral questions of like, is that okay? It's like, that doesn't seem like it's something somebody should be able to do. He eventually has to reveal himself because he's gotten so powerful. I think he actually has to rescue one of the S-class people from Korea, and because she sees that, and he figures that she's going to expose it anyway, and he ends up getting ranked as the 10th S-class in South Korea.
I'm looking at some of the art for Sung Jin-woo.
Yeah.
And
he starts off as like his little kid, and like within weeks he's bulking up, and he's got a 6-pack, and the girls are starting to notice him and all that kind of stuff.
But I think it's probably the Shadow Monarch form. He's got like a black armor.
Yeah.
And there's these like, looks like spectral creatures that are around him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of it's a video game and a comic series called The Darkness. Familiar with it at all?
No.
In that the main character can control this ethereal force called the Darkness, and he like can form armor around himself, and he has these like little minions that he can bring up and like pretty much manifest from shadows. Yeah, it's very cool visuals.
And there's different associations that are teams and stuff, and they're all trying to get control of. They're trying to figure out a way to get him to join them so he can be part of their side. And you kind of feel like in the background too that there's just this growing fear of him.
Yeah, it kind of. I mean, he's the protagonist, right?
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things. It's almost a little bit like Aaron in Attack on Titan. It's
Yeah.
like, is he gonna be the good guy? Is he gonna be the bad guy? How's this gonna go? As they go back to this island that they don't think they have the ability to kind of, it's all these like ants, like these flying ants, and there's like a guy that almost looks sort of like a knight that's part ant and can talk to him. He's the king of the ants.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's kind of cool. when all these associations try to fight the island, they're getting their guys slaughtered. And he shows up and he brings all the people he's resurrected, and just they destroy the ants, and then he subjugates the ruler of the ants too. And I think that's right at the end of the second season. I think that's kind of the point where people are like, we're not sure what to do about this. It's like he just showed up and he saved us all, but then he took control of all the stuff that all those ants that were killed. He controls all of them now, and it's like he's the one guy in the world that has a nuke, and everybody else has got like Civil War cannons, you know. So, and at the very end of the thing, I did not understand this at all watching it. His father is part of the story, and apparently in the past he was he might have been the most powerful hunter, and then he just disappeared. So might be why the rulers selected him to be their vessel to do all this stuff, to kind of be this leader of the ruler side. There are monarchs that were watching the whole thing at the end of the second season that just disappear into a gate, so it kind of leaves you cliffhanging there too. And that's really the first time I think that you really saw anything that at least I understood to be the monarchs from the series. I think all of this stuff is in much more detail in the manga, and I don't know. I got to find some way to free up some more time, because we're talking about it. We watched Akira and we're talking about that. I'll have to go through and do that manga. And that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And then this, I'm completely enthralled with the idea of going through and reading this.
Well, and this is something we'll have to discuss, because I have been considering that sort of perspective on what we do here.
Yeah,
we'll discuss that later. We've told you in the beginning of this podcast that, you know, the format's fluid and we're constantly changing it, and there are some changes that we might institute in the future to really facilitate a longer format of consumption. Because like with The Matrix a couple months ago, like I would have really liked to have kind of gone through a little bit more of that media, but we kind of barreled through it real quick.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll take.
We can always come back to it.
Now it looks like there are 14 books. It started in 2018 or 2016, excuse me, and finished in 2021.
So it's finished.
This is what I'm saying. The final chapter was December 29th, 2021.
I don't think I want to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
It's almost like movies is the same way. I know anime stays a whole lot closer to the manga.
Yeah.
I think they were consolidating a lot of ideas to get through these first couple seasons, and maybe sort of saving it to kind of have it be more of a reveal and a bigger final third season kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. One of the benefits of watching the media, and I think I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I have decided from Night Shift from last month that I do think watching the movie first and then reading what it was based off of, that's the way I like to do it. Simply because the stuff it's based off is almost always better. And also, like with this, when you're reading the manga, like the voices of the character, like it helps you establish what the characters are like.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was a big fan of the Lynch Dune movie. So when I read Dune, the visuals I had in my head was based off of the Lynch version of Dune.
Yeah.
So it does help your imagination fill in the stuff that your imagination generally has to fill in.
Did you watch and/or read Chainsaw Man?
I watched, not read. No, I bought the box set of it. I want to read it at some point, but I've only watched it.
I read it before, and I still enjoyed seeing the show come out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching it with my son. That's kind of my biggest regret on that thing. When you get to Makima, when she has the people at the temple, and she's offing everybody by killing those prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was like a really powerful sort of moment in the thing. But seeing my son see it happen in the anime live, react to it, was like, man, I wish I hadn't read that.
Wish you didn't know about it
because I knew it was coming, and it was still cool to see. But it was like I like those. I like those reveals, and I love the way they illustrate stuff, and I like the way Japan tells stories. And
I mean, I'm thinking about like Game of Thrones, kind of the whole Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. I just imagine if you had read the books, and of course, I don't know how close everything was in Game of Thrones book versus the show, but yeah, I can only imagine what it was like for people who knew what was coming. Yeah.
I have not watched a second of Game of Thrones.
You're not missing much. You're not. That's definitely one of those things where it's like
we've talked about it a couple times here at the house. Like, do you think you want to try to track that down and watch it? And we're like, no,
you're not.
I don't think so.
I'd first tell you to like watch Record of Lodoss War or something.
I think too many of the things that I've just had enough of, and watching media are things that probably exist in that, and I don't need to. I don't need any more of that. At this point, honestly,
the complaints about Game of Thrones are more in universe. It's like, this doesn't make sense, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not really missing much.
Yeah. That Solo Leveling, it's awesome.
Sounds cool.
I would love to come back and maybe sometime and kind of go through the manga and explore like the whole world behind all of this stuff and where it ends up going.
Now, what you could do is, since it's going season by season, and you've said before how when you're not watching something in the rears, when you're keeping up with it as it's coming out, you kind of have to rewatch it to prepare for the next season.
Yeah.
So you could like just read up to whatever chapter is up to season 2.
When you flip a page and there's something that you hadn't seen before, like, nope, stop.
Well, I would Google how far should I read for season 2 of Solo Leveling? It'll say chapter whatever. And there you go. Stop at that chapter. And that'll get you prepared for season 3.
I went back and watched like probably the final 7 episodes of My Hero Academia in the second to last season, so I could watch the last season, because I just had gotten so far removed from that. I wanted to refresh on that. And I literally had to do that to kind of remember where the story was. And unfortunately, kind of didn't really regret it. I don't know. There's a lot of interjection. I think Western interjection into probably the last episode or 2. That was one of those things that kind of left me with a bad taste in my mouth on the series. And it's unfortunate because it is a pretty good series too. But I think some of the stuff probably wasn't even translated correctly. I think we talked about how when they bring stuff over, we interject our versions of things into.
Yeah, it's the problem with localization.
That was the word I was looking for, was localization.
Yeah, they try to make it meaningful to our culture. I'm like, no, just tell us what they wanted to say in the original.
I think the localizers for the last episode, at least, or maybe the one before that, were people that you might also see screaming on a stage or on a step after a certain election.
you definitely, if you start getting into like the localization differences and stuff like that, you really, it's a black hole of just angry people on all sides. It's just, Anyway.
I'll probably go back and watch this when the 3rd season comes out again, just to watch the 2nd season, because it was really that enjoyable. It wasn't like, man, I've got to go back and watch that again. I'd be like, awesome. Now I have a reason to go back and watch that again.
Cool.
So I won't rank it up there. I won't try to rank it anywhere until I see where it goes. But it was the most enjoyable thing I've watched in a while. So
glad you enjoyed it.
If you're a fan of anime, watch it.
Okay.
And if you're not into anime and you want something to start out with, my wife is familiar with anime. She's not a huge fan.
Yeah, it sounds like a very anime.
She was 3 episodes into this. She was. I'm always kind of worried of I have to watch her and elbow her and see if she's going to fall asleep. And she was into this one. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
That is the major one that I bring in the appetizers. I have a few smaller things we'll do here upcoming, but the next one will be you.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. We'll be back with that. All right, well, we're going to be talking about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
On my list of films to see when it came out, and just never got around to it. And I don't know, where did you see it? What was it on?
Oh, goodness, I have no idea. Where did I see it? It was a streaming service. Where to watch?
if it's on. I haven't seen it on anything that I have. So
let's see, Prime's the Roku channel.
Oh,
yeah. With Roku at the base of the operating system, you can just search, and
it's
it'll
free.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, you had to watch commercials.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that. I've conceded that at this point. That
yeah. But yeah, you could search and it'll be like, here are the 9 ways you can watch it, and it'll go through, and you don't have to go into each one of them. It'll tell you it costs this much or it's free.
Okay.
So I get to a lot of things that way just searching at the base level of Roku. I'll definitely keep my Roku device. It's not a Roku TV. That Roku has their own TVs. We just have a little box.
Yeah.
It's easy to upgrade.
Gotcha. Excuse me.
But this is actually based on true events, and it's based on a book called Churchill's Secret Warriors: The Explosive True Story of Special Forces Desperados of World War II. I'm glad they changed the title. So there were files that had started being declassified in the 90s. That was all about the black ops of World War II, and this really kind of started what we know today as black ops warfare.
Yeah.
Very much a Suicide Squad kind of thing, because like Henry Cavill's character, I'm gonna have to bring up the cast list on this because I'm not gonna remember. I don't remember all these names. He played Gus,
mm-hmm.
and Churchill was like, hey, well, and Churchill was played by
Rory Kinnear.
Rory Kinnear. He was like, hey, I need you to do this job for me. He was like, well, I've got some guys in mind, but you're not going to like them. And he was like, hey, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
And so he gets together his little ragtag group of friends, and it's very much, like I said, a Suicide Squad type situation where they're the...
Kind of like a real life Expendables.
Yeah, very much a real life Expendables.
Yeah.
It's and the basic premise is there was in northern Africa, there was a port that the Nazis were like taking control over.
Yeah.
And they wanted to go in and they wanted to disrupt those operations. And that was pretty much it. They were operating kind of to the side of legality. Like if all of this were to happen today and people knew about it, people would be very upset.
Yeah. But
this happened in World War II and we won and everything's fine. So whatever. But it definitely, with Henry Cavill, he's an interesting actor for me because I like Henry Cavill as an individual. He's like, to me, he's like the polar, the other side of the coin of like Mark Ruffalo. Like Mark Ruffalo doesn't seem to be the most charitable guy in the world.
Yeah. But
I like his acting. He's okay. But like Henry Cavill, like everything I hear about him as a person, I'm like, he seems like a really genuinely nice guy. His acting does leave a little bit to be desired.
Yeah.
He is very much one of these, like he does try to play different characters, but all of his characters kind of come across the same.
I think I heard somebody kind of, I can't remember how it was they were framing the discussion, but it was kind of to that vein of talking about these people that come out on social media and all this stuff and kind of give you a reason to look at them a second time and whether or not you actually like them. And I think he was bringing up like Gal Gadot, that people really had a pretty fond view of Wonder Woman after that came out.
Yeah.
But then when she got more political and stuff, that people have gone back and looked at it again. It's like, oh, she's really not very good, is she? And it's like one of those things.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those things with some of the actors I talked about, like with Ron Perlman. We were talking about that earlier. It's like if you would just be your character, and not do anything else, then most people would be fine with it, and probably not notice that you're really not that good at acting. And,
I did find it interesting that he was the character who's playing Gus is like he's a confidant, he's a comrade or the teammate of Ian Fleming, which is the guy who wrote James Bond.
Yeah.
And James Bond isn't really based off of one particular guy. He's like an amalgam of a bunch of other guys. Yeah. But I find it interesting that Henry Cavill's in this, and he's also in that. Oh goodness, what's it called? It's like a James Bond-esque film, and there's just all these tangential James Bond roles that he's been playing, but he's not going to play James Bond.
Yeah, even though that he would probably be the best of what's left out
like,
there to probably be James Bond.
At least on paper, you would think he'd make the perfect James Bond.
Yeah, there was like Argyle, a Man from Uncle.
That's it. The Man from Uncle is what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
that's just a James Bond film.
That probably kind of proves your point when you go back and pull up the movies. That it's like, well, he's been in a lot of movies, and I can't really remember which one's which because they're all kind of
similar characters.
Maybe not the same on like a Jason Statham level, but
no,
but kind of.
He does try. I mean, he really puts his heart and soul into a lot of his works. Like he played in The Witcher, and like he did do the Witcher, the Geralt voice, and he tried to transform himself into that character.
Yeah.
He's not doing that anymore because apparently he was a bear to work with because he was such a stickler for the novels. They'd be like, "This is what happens." He was like, "That's not what happens in the novels."
Yeah.
And the writers kind of got sick of that, so they got rid of him.
Should have just let him turn it over to him and let him hire a writer.
Well, apparently he is doing a Warhammer 40K series, and he has like this rule where if you're wrong about the lore more than twice, you get kicked out of the writers' room or something like that. Like he is ruling with an iron fist.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
The best productions out there are the ones that are controlled by one person, and you get all these little by committee things, and they just turn into nonsense.
But the other characters that are in this, you have Alan Ritchson, who is plays Reacher in the Reacher series, the huge dude.
Yeah.
It was fun to see those two in a film together because both beefy dudes. The other people I kind of was like, hey, I kind of know these people, and it's definitely one of those films where as you're watching it, you're recognizing individuals, but it's not like your Tom Cruise or like your Henry Cavill, where like I know exactly who that person is. Babs Alusan Makan, I knew I was going to mess it up. He's the guy who played in Dune Part 1. He played Jamis.
Yeah.
The guy that Paul kills. Yeah. That's where I had to look that up because as I was watching, I was like, I know that guy. Where do I know him from?
I was looking at him on the cast thing. I was wondering if he was if he's the guy that came in at the last John Wick movie, but it's not.
Different guy.
A different guy.
And then there's the other person. I'm kind of just, I don't know who that other guy is on the Henry Golding.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize him at all. I don't know what he's from, but the female lead, Isa Gonzalez, where I recognized her from was Ash, and this was something that we talked about like a year ago, that the sci-fi film.
Oh yeah,
she was in that. So
I finally tracked that down. That's the one you saw in the theater. The one with oh Lord, Breaking Bad, Jesse.
Yeah.
Aaron, I can't remember what his name
Paulson,
is.
Right?
No.
Aaron Paulson?
No,
that's not it.
I don't think it's right.
Let's see.
That doesn't sound right.
Who played Jesse?
I'm just trying to find Ash. There it is.
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
Yeah, not right. Paulson. Aaron Paul. There you go.
His name was Robert Paulson.
Right. His name was right. That's probably what was in my mind.
Yeah. I knew I recognized her as well. I think that might be one of the only things I've seen her in.
And this is a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of those kind of like if you say, hey, you like a Steven Spielberg film. Okay, if you like Guy Ritchie films, you'll probably like this.
Yeah.
This is a put your phone down film, because if you're not paying attention, you'll get lost real quick. Because it moves at quite a clip. It looks like the production budget was about $60 million. They made about $30 million, so it's not real great.
Yeah.
So
it's we talk about that. We pull up a lot of numbers and things that on the movies that we talk about. It's just budgets have just gotten stupid on some of these things. It's almost to where there's no way to make money.
No.
And I saw a thing this morning that was going through the top paid actors. I think Zoe Saldana was like number one.
Yeah, she's number one now.
And then like everybody that followed her, with the exception of like maybe like two people, were all just the other people in the Marvel stuff. And you're getting to a point, it's like where those movies made just more money than they knew what to do with over those first couple ones. And then that makes those actors be able to command and say, this is what I'm worth now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, okay, if we want to get her, we got to pay her that for this or at least close to that for this movie, and that probably just sinks your budget half the time just to draw one of these people in. It's like, how about like tying it to commission or something? You
Well,
get
they used to do like points on the back end kind of thing.
that's how I would do it. It'd be like, here's your signing bonus. You get a 30% of whatever the take is on the movie. So I hope it does well.
I recently saw a interview clip where they were talking to Alec Guinness regarding Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like he thought it was kind of silly and all that because he was like a classical actor, right?
Yeah.
And he was talking about what he was promising he was getting paid. And when the movie first came out and people started like reviewing it and it seemed like it was going to make a good amount of money and do all right, George Lucas called him and was like, hey, have you seen what people are saying about it? It seems like it's good. We would like to offer you another 0.5%. And then a little more people started seeing it, started getting a little more popular. And Alex said he called George Lucas. He's like, hey, can we get that little bit of extra money that you were talking about? Can we get that in writing? And he said, George was like, oh, that 0.25%. Yes, definitely. It's like, yeah.
What I saw them talking about with her this morning is, I think the conversation was like, was there anything that she's in that she made big money in where she actually wasn't either blue or green? It's like, not really. She was in Star Trek. The Star Trek remakes, she was.
Yeah. Uhura.
And then
right.
Outside of that, it was kind of in that order: the Marvel stuff, the Avatar, and the Star Treks, where she made all that money.
Well, it looks like the one movie I could think of that was like her film was Colombiana. That was in 2011.
Yeah.
And it was 40 million budget, made 71 worldwide. So that was successful. But you're right. It's not like she's not like a Tom Cruise where she has this filmography where she's
the
just
only movies that I can actually think back to, like, wow, she was kind of good in that. The Live by Night, the gangster movie she did with Ben Affleck. Okay, she was good in that. And then the thing she did with Christian Bale, the Out of the Furnace. That's a kind of a low budget sort of indie film.
She was
great in that.
You said green or blue. Yeah, Avatar. That's why she's.
Yeah. That's where all that money.
She's in Marvel and Avatar.
Marvel and Avatar. That's why she's.
Okay. Well, good on her.
Yeah.
Good on her. But hopefully, I think this movie did the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I think it did what it needed to do. I don't feel like it was lacking in any way. Yeah. I think the actors did well. It's just, I don't know if it's that's not what we're looking for right now in films, or if it was just a casualty of the dying theater system, or what.
Yeah, I don't know. I think without going back and looking, it seems like all the expendable stuff was fairly popular and made money, or they wouldn't have kept on making.
This is more a war movie than it is an action film. Yeah, it has some explosions, has some actions, but it's more methodical and deliberate in the plot.
Yeah, I don't remember how it was marketed, but that's the way that you would draw somebody to this. It'd be like, this is real life Expendables, but yeah. I don't really remember how. I remember seeing ads for it and stuff. I've almost kind of grown numb to advertising at this point.
If I recall correctly, I didn't go back and watch the trailers or anything, but I remember it being kind of billed almost like a comedy, because there are one-liners and some punchy kind of dialogue, but it's not a comedy.
I'm exhausted with that kind of stuff. Just these are guys that were in World War II. I'm sure they were probably plenty sarcastic and probably said some very funny things that probably would not be allowed in film at this point. But that constant just Marvel sarcasm stuff is, I can't do those movies anymore. They're just it's just fatiguing. It's like, I like a good joke, but it's just a joke after a joke after a joke after a joke. It's like,
well, I definitely wouldn't put this movie in that category.
Yeah. Doing that to a World War II movie it'd be an instant way to destroy it.
Yeah.
You go back there, you're talking about Rickson and Cavill and stuff too. You go back and watch the guys that were like these heroes and the guys that were like really daring and kind of badasses in World War II, and you see them and you're like, they were like little 5'10", 170-pound dudes from like Brooklyn and stuff. That
is one of the things I did while we were watching. I was looking at the people who were the actual people, and I did think that I was like, wow, these are just like normal looking dudes.
Yeah, they're just fearless guys that were just like, no. It's like you're trying to take over Europe and you just bombed like our base in Japan? Nah. It's like we're not doing that.
You look at some of the guys who were the bravest in those World War I and II, and it's like this guy looks like he'd be your local cobbler. You know, he'd fix your shoes, you know, but no, he was this badass and killed a battalion of guys just by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna track it down and watch it at some point. It wasn't in that, definitely was not in that category of I'm gonna go spend most of the free money I have this month to go see a movie in the theaters. So
when it came out in the theaters, I do remember saying, hey, I would like to see this in the theater, just as like supporting it.
Generally, movies like this are better in theaters.
Yeah, I call them bombastic films. Yeah.
Explosions and gunfire are always better on a big screen.
Of course, yeah. But life gets in the way, as you're saying. So
yeah.
All right, then the next film we're going to be talking about is your next one, which is going to be Mercy.
Mercy plus a little bit.
Plus a little bit. Right?
We'll be back I'll with explain that in a minute. All right, we're back with our next appetizer. We're back to balls back in my court on that one.
What you got?
This was going to be Mercy from the film that just had Chris Pratt in it. Just came out early this year. And it kind of morphed into the films of, I'm going to slaughter this guy's name, Timur Bekmambetov.
Okay. Is he Russian?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Kazakh Russian, probably at this point would be Kazakh, but part of the old Soviet Union. You would know him from Wanted, the Angelina Jolie movie.
Yeah.
That was his kind of, probably still his best film to date. He did that in 2008. I know him from a little bit before that with Night Watch, which was 2004, and Day Watch, 2006. Night Watch was kind of like a kind of bombastic. It was a Russian film. It was made in Russia, Russian actors. Kind of was more of a vampire thing. Day Watch kind of morphed into more like almost sort of like an X-Men type, like an original sort of X-Men Russian story. It was too hard to explain to get into. Wanted, that was a cool film. All the different characters and the intrigue back and forth between all these assassins and stuff. I don't know if watching Mercy is what altered my algorithm to where I got into basically like 2 weeks of the films of Timur Bekmambetov.
Okay.
I'll do Mercy first. Mercy, Chris Pratt, 2000 and early this year, 2026. Wanted to note there because I still don't understand why critics just hate everything involved with Chris Pratt. This had like a 25% critics score on Rotten Tomatoes and like an 82% with the fans. And,
okay.
I've almost kind of come to judge movies when you see that. I'm like, I kind of want to see that movie. Yeah. And if you see it the other way, I'm like, I don't want to see that movie. If the critics love it and the fans don't like it, I'm like, this is some weird message thing that I don't want to watch.
But they're currently having that issue. I don't know if you call it an issue, but issue with the biopic Michael.
Yeah.
Right now on Rotten Tomatoes, it's 38%, and for the audience score, it's 97.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I thought about trying to catch that movie and bring it. Well, we'll maybe get to that in a future show. I grew up through Michael Jackson. I'm guessing you kind of missed.
Oh yeah. No, I was young, clearly younger, but yeah, I remember his.
Our early like VCR rentals were renting the Thriller movie and getting groups of people together and watching it. Like we did that more than once, like multiple weekends. Like, hey, let's all come over to our house and let's watch Thriller again. And that was
one of the first games that I remember getting really, really into. Was a game called Moonwalker with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And in it, you would transform into like the rabbit, and I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah, I remember this thing was getting some. I don't know if hate was the right word, but not getting
shade.
It was getting shade, and I was like, I'm gonna watch it because I liked all the people involved. It
was
really small
Rebecca Ferguson.
Rebecca Ferguson, Chris Sullivan, the police officer, is Callie Rice,
okay.
A light-skinned black girl. I've seen her in something else. I'm not exactly sure. What else I know her from doesn't matter. But not a lot of characters in the movie, and the whole thing, it's a mystery about him being accused of his wife's murder, getting tried by the AI judge. You've seen the trailer for the movie.
I have, yeah.
You haven't seen the movie yet, though, right?
No, to me it looked like, oh goodness, what's that? Eagle Eye with Will Smith.
I have not seen that. I know what you're talking about, but
that's what it looked like to me.
The movie really is about the chase of what happened. So, one, I don't want to spoil that because that really is the enjoyment of the movie. Two, it's not one of those things that you go back and watch because kind of once you understand what happens, it's probably not as rewatchable as you really are sort of just trying to
figure it out.
I wonder if it's this or I wonder if it's that kind of thing. But I like that kind of movie. I don't put them into categories, and it's a lower category for me because they're not as rewatchable. It's like what's the Shyamalan thing? The Village.
Okay,
you've seen that.
There's a few Shyamalans. Yeah,
you've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think if you spoil that at this point, too bad. But the first time you see that, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then it's like you're watching it the next time, you know the whole thing, and it's like, well, this is kind of dumb. So
knowing the reveal kind of ruins the premise.
It takes not the excitement out of it, but this one has enough action and stuff. You know, it's probably an okay rewatch. Really cool concepts and portrayal of like the surveillance world that we live in. Definitely trying to probably be a warning for sure. Mm-hmm. I kind of like mixed feelings on the thing. I obviously don't want to live in that world too. But as a police officer for years and someone who spent so much of my time trying to like gather evidence to prove that really bad people were guilty of things that they were obviously guilty of.
Right.
It kind of makes you view this movie in a different way, that you almost kind of like being able to have all of the surveillance stuff that readily available, where you can be like, you said this. It's like, no, this is a street camera showing you here at this date and time. There's a lot of that in this movie. And it's you know the concept of like hearsay. Mm-hmm. That I talk to you at the scene of a crime, you tell me blah blah blah. I come back to court and I try to say, well, when I arrived, Randy said, and the lawyers always jump in and say, no, that's hearsay, that's not admissible, blah blah blah. It's like, he told me what he did, and I always hated that part of being a freaking police officer, man. And I was kind of getting out of police work at the beginning of like the dash cam era, and now they have body cams. So, and really, it makes the police officer's job so much easier to have all of that. And I liked viewing that movie through that lens, where it wasn't like, you know, this guy says he was doing this at this time, and it's like, here's a camera from this house, and here's a drone that flew over, and like here's a doorbell camera, and like being able to like triangulate all that, like the judge had access to all that and could do this.
So is the movie presenting it as like, look at all this overreach and surveillance state, and you're there like, this would have been great.
Yeah, that's basically kind of the point I'm getting to. Funny. Is like, I think it's supposed to be a warning, and I'm like, man, I wish I'd had that. Because I had to go back and like try to get people and take photo lineups to people. And, you know, you try to get a statement from somebody, and then like they come to court and they start saying something completely different, and judges and people are looking at you like, why did you bring this crap in here? I was like, because when I talked to them there, they said this. I actually had somebody in a case one time where a guy shot at a group of people, and the girl who showed up in court had changed her story to say, I knew that the guy who shot at lever action 30-30 at people, I knew he was pointing at it because I saw the laser come down across my chest and go. It's like they showed me, they picked up the court. We had the gun in court,
laser,
like a red dot laser.
Okay.
She's like, I saw the laser. And they picked up this lever action rifle in court. It's like, is this?
There's a laser?
That's how I got called into this,
right,
to the stand, sat down. They're like, Officer Hans, got a question for you. And it was like, oh, Lord. They're like, is this gun capable of emitting a laser? And I was looking around like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, what laser?
Oh, so you hadn't heard what she had said?
No, no, it was all separate testimonies.
Okay.
It was one of those things that it's like, that was the craziest part about being a police officer is you could be at a scene where there was something that happened, and you had 18 people, and they'd all say exactly the same thing. It's like, man, this is what happened. And then 2 months later, you come to court, and they're like, and then Godzilla came in, and he started shooting lasers. And you're like, what are y'all talking about? So, I don't know. I'm kind of a fan of the surveillance thing in this.
It kind of makes me think, and even though like Chat GPT and all that, like completely make stuff up, But a lot of people, especially in the past like 6 months or so, or the year, if you're talking to somebody and you have a question, you used to be like, well, let's Google it.
Yeah.
Now people just go straight to Chat GPT, and because it's like an impartial party.
Yeah.
And that, like, with the idea of the having the surveillance footage, it's like, well, you don't have someone giving their perspective. You have footage of the event that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can freely admit this now that when I had DUIs and we had dash cams, I think I had it one time, and it was one of those things that was just a light bulb went off in my head. I was there talking to an attorney before a case with a VHS tape in my hand from the car because they were still that old technology. And the whole time, like I was talking to him, I kept seeing the attorney like looking down, like looking at the tape and looking back at me, like he wanted to know what I had on the tape. I never said anything to it, and he went back to his guy and they pled, and I was like, he thought I had videotape of this whole thing. I started carrying a blank videotape with me to court every time, and DUIs across the board were just like the attorneys would see you, they come over and talk to you, and every one of them would be like, yeah, so he says this, and but you could watch the attorney's eyes like looking at that tape, like, man, I wonder what's on that tape.
That's clever. That's clever.
I never said that I had a tape that had anything. I just carried it with me, and I don't know how many DUIs I had that just people just pled to them, and I was just like, I'm sure the attorneys were like, what's he got on the tape? And the guy was probably like, I don't know. I didn't know he had a tape. So I don't know. I'm kind of a fan of the surveillance state here.
Well, I've had a lot of conversations with friends and family regarding those concepts, and a lot of the arguments that, because I'm very much like, I don't like the idea of there being cameras all over and recording everything you're doing. But one of the arguments that I just really don't have a response against is, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you care?
Exactly what I was getting ready to say. It's like, you can tape me off if
you
want to.
When someone tells me that, I'm like, yeah. I mean, you're right.
If you want to tape me over the course of a week, you're going to have a lot of footage of some really boring stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you might see me like digging in my ear at one point with a stick.
Right.
You get that on tape, I'm like, okay, my ear itched. What about it? But yeah. Anyway, back to
the in general, and this is probably a part of the inspiration for the film. I know the whole body cam situation, since those have been implemented, they have been a positive. They've had a positive effect on
generally
not solving crimes, but prosecutions.
It's been great I watch police footage stuff all the time. I'm stuck in that world. I'm obsessed with watching it. I don't want to get into the psychiatry or psychology of why, but one, you can see it instantly when an officer does something that's out of line.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a huge burden off the departments to just be like, wow, it's like, I can't believe he did that. But it also shows these people, they try to turn into these national martyrs and victims that most of the time they're out of line, and it really takes a lot of that gray out. And I don't think it's a coincidence that since all this is increased, that you don't have as many George Floyd type things where people are trying to find a reason to riot and burn something down because somebody will get shot, and then you go see the footage and it's like, oh wow, he deserved it. And it's like, okay, we don't have a case here. But this movie, I don't know if the algorithm changed it or if it's just coincidence, put me into this like thing where I watched like 3 movies from Timur Beckman.
Okay.
Let's call Timur from Tim. Let's go with Tim. I can't even say Timur. I watched Ben-Hur, the 2016 movie, which I didn't even realize he did. I just watched it because it was on my timeline. Yeah. And not the best like remake of it, but he shoots some really cool action stuff. There's a sequence when Ben-Hur gets enslaved on the ship and they're using him. There's a big like naval battle, and those guys they're just sitting there rowing the warships, and the ships are all just crashing into each other. It's worth watching that movie just to see that. They've actually got a prisoner on one of the enemy ships has a prisoner chained to the front of their ship. And he looks out the window as the ship is getting ready to crash into him, and there's a dude that's just pinned there, just like, no. They crash into stuff. The chariot race stuff is pretty cool to watch too. It's a moderate remake of it, I'd say. I think they tried to not make it quite as much of a Christian movie as it was originally intended to be, because I don't know if you know the story of Ben Hur. He's pretty much like Forrest Gump, but in the Bible
Oh, okay.
around the time of Jesus. Like
All right.
he's in and around the events, but he's a fictional character that kind of is there when Jesus is arrested and when he's talking to stuff just prior to him being arrested, and then he's there at the crucifixion too. They kind of throw that up at the end of the movie. They don't really tie it all in, so they're probably. I think he was trying to make more of an action movie and less a religious movie there, but it's still kind of a cool watch. And then the one I watched right after that is called Profile, and a really small movie, but probably was really a good run for him to make Mercy, because Mercy, most of the movie is like Chris Pratt sitting in a chair,
Right.
and the judge on a screen seeing all the footage from all this stuff. Profile is it's a 2018 movie based on a book that was written by a French journalist, and she pen named it Anna Arel because she's had to go into hiding. It was called In the Skin of a Jihadist. um, and it's a true story of where she posed as a girl, as a young girl who, back at the time frame of all this, ISIS was on going online and recruiting young girls to come join ISIS. Excuse me. And be wives for these guys and stuff like that, and promising all these lives of luxury and fancy cars and money and cash and big houses and all this stuff. But in this is a true story of what this journalist did, where she posed as a as a young girl and got into this like really quick online relationship with one of the recruiters, and eventually led to tracking him down. There's reports that he was killed, and there's reports that he's still alive. I think that's the problem with some of these terrorist type guys, is that it's really hard to ever tell if you actually got them or not, because who knows what names they're giving at the beginning of any of the times that you encounter them.
Right.
Um, but much like the Mercy movie, this whole movie is her either on Skype with somebody, with him, or with like the director of the journalism outfit that she works for, or with her boyfriend. Like, it's never anything but like FaceTime screens.
Yeah, there was a few movies that came out a few years ago that was like that, where it was just like literally all the whole movie took place on a computer screen.
Yeah, and it was a really really intriguing and kind of pulls you in kind of movie for something that never really, they probably shot in one room, and it obviously was a low budget movie too. But
I'm thinking of the movie I saw called Open Windows years ago, 2014, Elijah Wood. Yeah, that was one of those films that took place a lot on a computer screen. It could be compelling.
Yeah, it was a cool story too, because I mean, she was trying to expose this guy and trying to get like a big piece out to make people aware of what these girls are doing online.
Right.
This is all prior to 2020, so I guess prior to 2020, all of your daughters online were getting recruited by terrorists. After 2020, they were all getting recruited by transformers or whatever you want to. I'll try not to get us struck on that one. But yeah, like they arranged meetings, like basically what this guy was doing, and I think what most of these people were doing was getting them to come, because I think they were operating out of Syria at the time, was to come to like a Turkish city that was near the Syrian border, and then was able to. They're supposed to be going there to meet their new husband, and sometimes they were actually getting married online in some like little ceremony. And once they were getting to these places, they were just getting abducted and trafficked. They never even see this guy. They had their most handsome recruiter out there to try to pull these girls in. And
I'm assuming, I don't know if you looked into like the demographics of that. I'm assuming it was mostly like European women.
Yeah, this was a French reporter.
Yeah, it was all like,
it was a lot of like.
It's definitely something that we didn't hear about happening
French
in America.
I think it was a lot of French and German girls because it was just in that area. And yeah, getting like the details of what happened with this whole story of this reporter and stuff, looking it up online now it's hard to find anything because they're just this doesn't fit the narrative of basically what's happened to Europe. And
well, imagine what it's going to be like in 100 years trying to find out information that happened today. We're living in I think we're living in a time where it's going to be in the future is going to be like a dark period where they literally just don't know what happened because nothing's recorded. Basically,
I read through 3 different articles, like the Guardian and some other like quote unquote news articles, and they wouldn't even say Islamist in it, and that he was a foreign operator and things. It's like they just can't even say the words. I think one of them actually used. They said that he put out like basically a hit. One of the articles actually said what it was called. It was called fatwa, which is basically putting out a reward for anybody.
But they wouldn't use the word fatwa.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Because it means to not just find her, but to find her and torture her on video, and humiliate her for the world to see because she was an infidel, and it was crazy to just kind of go back and try to read about this and look. Like PBS did an interview with the actual reporter where they had her face darked out. They said it was with Anna Arel. I don't know what her real name is. That was just her pen name. They were actually reported on it in 2015. Like, this was a good thing this journalist did. Look how brave she was to do all this. And like, you can't. I'm surprised that PBS still had it up. I had to search for a while to even find it. It's like they've just. I don't know what's happened to the world with stuff to where there's just awful crimes like this, and people are just like, la la, running around with their fingers in their ears, like, no, we can't acknowledge that. It doesn't fit our story.
I mean, even Villeneuve's Dune, they replaced the word jihad because in the books, Paul and the Fremen go on a jihad. Yeah. That's what they call it.
It's a religious war.
In the Villeneuve movies, they either, I think they use holy war. I think that's what they call it. Yeah. So, every era I think is affected by the politics of that era.
But Timur did this movie as well. Again, I like the way he does stuff. I'm not sure that he always has the biggest budget and the greatest writers behind his stuff, but he's a Russian filmmaker and kind of operates on his own. And
sometimes a lower budget is the thing that makes you have to be really creative. It says that this film Mercy had a budget of $60 million.
Yeah, and there's no way it had a short theater run. I didn't write down what it
released by Amazon MGM Studios, struggled at the box office, grossing approximately 53 to 55 million worldwide.
The problem with Amazon Studios doing theater releases when they everybody knows it's going to come right back to Prime is there's no reason to go see it in the theater.
Right.
And that's why I didn't go see it. So
yeah, they really need to. We've discussed this before. They really need to start lengthening the amount of time in between theater releases and home releases. Yeah. Because there have been a lot of films where I'm just like, I'll wait 3 months. It'll be on Netflix or Amazon or something.
Or negotiating the price in the theater.
Yeah.
If this was a $6 movie, I might have gone to see it. I wasn't going to go see it at $15.
Well, I've said for a while that I think Netflix should release films in the theaters and you can go see it if you're a Netflix subscriber. Yeah. Now, I understand that that's no money added to Netflix, but okay, what about half off? What about if Mercy went to the theater and it's like, there's an Amazon film, come and see it in the theater and it's not $15, it's $8.
Or go buy their ticket in the theater and then have it come back to be 3 free rentals on Prime.
Or something. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta have like a synergy between the two systems. But yeah.
People like deals. I like deals. I don't like been like, here, you can either do this or else. Because I'm like, I'm going to choose or else.
All right. So Mercy's
it's a good watch.
It's a good watch.
It's not going to be an all-time classic.
Yeah. Chris Pratt seems to do, because like he also wrote the Future War. Like he seems to do a certain amount of like commercial films. It seems like where it's like it's
he was.
It's made to just kind of like be a fun film, not something that's going to really give you a lot to think about. Or
I can't remember. I think he
just something.
Saldana was one. Black Widow, what's her name, was 2.
Scarlett Johansson.
Mm-hmm. I think Downey.
Oh, you're talking about the budgets.
Downey was like 3, and I think Pratt was 4.
Okay.
So I mean, he's And that was like the highest paid people. And
It's annoying that they're all Marvel actors. It's because of Marvel.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Well, Downey after this Doomsday thing they're making, the Avengers Doomsday, he might be on the top of the list after that, because that's like it's like a $2 billion budget or something. It's ridiculous that budget for that film is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's the films of Tim.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back and talk about the last one that I'm going to talk about is They Will Kill You.
All right.
All right. Well, we're going to be talking about the film They Will Kill You.
Again, on my list of things I want to do, and I have not had a chance to do. So
this is one of those films that I was like, hey, I really want to see this in the theater. And I was looking at the Fandango app and seeing what movies were playing when. And I was like, man, if I want to see this film, I got to see it literally today. Because it was like a Thursday. And I was like, it's not playing on Friday.
Yeah.
I got to go. And so I went. It was like the last showing at the last theater. Let's go see it. I was the only person in this theater. No one else. I always like it when that happens. Only other one film that's ever happened with that for me, and that was one lonely phone or one lost phone. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, that was years ago. But this was
my fear with that is that I'm gonna like fall asleep and nobody's gonna come to check on it, and I'm gonna wake up and like
be in the morning,
10 o'clock, and a closed down theater or something, and be like, well, actually that's actually not a fear. That'd be kind of cool.
It'd be nice.
They eat all their nachos and just leave.
But it had a $20 million production budget, modest. Didn't even make it back.
Yeah,
they said they made between 18 to 19 million worldwide.
With the trailers and stuff, I mean, it's a hard sell. It's an R-rated film. It's gonna be bloody. You're gonna cut out a lot of people out of the gates on that, and I don't know what it was up against other movies and stuff too, but yeah, it's unfortunate for films like that because you almost kind of know coming in that they're probably not going to make a lot of money, but sometimes they're really good.
The Google overview says that the film was deemed dead on arrival at the box office before like they even decided how long it was going to be in the theater. Oh. Yeah. So that's unfortunate.
That begs a lot of questions, but I won't get into to all that because we'll have to do some research.
And this is all of that is completely against what I'm about to say. This is the most fun I've had in a film in about 15 years.
Yeah.
It
looks fun. I wanted to
fantastic. I absolutely love this. The basic premise is Zazie Beetz' character. And I think I would put this hang on a sec. Let me get her name. Asia Reeves and her sister Maria Reeves. They were separated when her sister was younger, or they had an abusive father, a single father apparently, and so Asia got sent to prison, and the daughter just got her younger sister just got put in the system essentially.
You talking about that in the film or real
in the
life?
film? In the film. Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, Asia went into prison because she.
Oh, okay. Asia Reeves is Zazie Beetz.
Right. Zazie Beetz plays Asia Reeves.
I was looking at the Maria Reeves girl. I thought that was like the actress's name.
Oh, right.
I got you. I'm caught up.
Yeah, and after Asia gets out of prison, she wants to go find her sister because she's like, hey, I promised I'd never leave her, but I left her because I was sent to prison because I tried to defend us against our dad who was trying to kill us. So she goes to find her sister. Her sister's working in this hotel. And she's like, well, I've got to get into this hotel in order to get my sister. And in order to get into the hotel, she like assumes someone else's identity. And it turns out this hotel is ran by Satanists. And they hire people to sacrifice them to Satan. And the woman that she took her identity to get into this hotel to find her sister, she was the next sacrifice. So unbeknownst to like her sister, Asia is the one that's going to be killed.
Gotcha.
And so it starts off where it's kind of creepy. And Patricia Arquette plays in it. She plays like the matron of the hotel, and Heather Graham's in it. And she's really the only. There's a couple other people you recognize, but those are really the people you actually like. Hey, I know who that person is.
And there's a contrast for you. Patricia Arquette is 58.
Yeah.
Heather Graham is 56.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. The Patricia. I don't know if they maybe made her up to look older, but Patricia Arquette really. She plays a lot older than Heather Graham in this film.
Yeah, just Google them and look the two of them up.
I didn't realize they were that close in age. Interesting.
Well, we'll try to get unsidetracked from seeing Heather Graham.
But the film, the directorial style of the film, and I'm going to have to watch this guy's other films. Kirill Sokolov. Never heard of the dude before. I think the only other English movie he might have done is called No Looking Back. No, wait. Is that one? That one's Russian. Why don't you just die from 2018?
There's some magic in some Russian filmmakers, and there's I think I've maybe mentioned them before. There's a couple like tank movies that are like made by Russians that are just great fun, awesome, a little bit kind of silly at times, but like almost like the Timur guys movies. The action stuff is cool. I don't know. I think that's an untapped source of creativity there.
Okay, apparently, Why Don't You Just Die is a Russian film as well. So They Will Kill You is his first English film.
Yeah.
His directorial style, I really would. I think if you were say like, what would it look like if Sam Raimi and Quentin Tarantino teamed up and made a film?
Yeah,
this is the film you would make.
He's only 36, so I mean he's
got plenty of time.
He's young in the process.
Well, he'll need to make something that actually makes some money if he wants to continue in it. But again, Asia Reeves' character is very much Zazie Beetz or the director or the film production knows who this character is, and she is that character the entire time. She's a very very well developed character, not real complex. Like she has her goal, she's going to achieve her goal kind of situation. Very much reminded me of kind of not necessarily temperament, but the way the character was presented and the way the character was fleshed out. Very much reminded me of Ash Williams. To me, this film is alongside Evil Dead in tone, in themes, in visuals. I mean, it's very much a Sam Raimi type film. The Quentin Tarantino aspect of it is in some of the framing of the shots. I think you just have to see it to know what I'm talking about. This is, I mean, 2 big thumbs up. I will watch anything this guy does. I really hope They Will Kill You does well on streaming and does enough on streaming to get a sequel, because the world they set up is just primed for more films. Really is.
We were just talking earlier about Zoe Saldana being like the top grossing like actress or actor or actress combined at the moment. I really hope that kind of turn comes for Zazie Beetz, because I think she's a much better actress.
Oh, she did fantastic in this film.
And most of the stuff she's been in has been kind of smaller. So I mean, she was in Joker, but
I always forget she played his girlfriend. I always forget that.
And she was in Bullet Train. I guess that was a little bit bigger budget thing, but still not the money that they're throwing at the people that are in all these Marvel things. But I've never seen anything in her, or never seen her in a movie that I didn't enjoy. And it's not like just a cardboard role that she seems to always play. She's pretty good at playing the different roles that I've seen her in. I kind of wanted to see her in this because this is a little bit of a different shift from the stuff she's done before. There was
after the initial scene that happens, there's a scene that when I tell people about this film, I tell them about this one little scene, and I think it kind of encapsulates this character. Is she's running from the Satanists, and she goes into this room, and there's a little boy in the room that you meet earlier that calls her Little Piggy. So like, all right, you don't like this guy because he called the main character a Little Piggy. All right, gotcha. But at that point, you didn't really know that, well, it's because she's a sacrifice. That's why I called her a piggy. She's a sacrificial pig. But she goes into this room and puts a desk, a table in front of the in front of the door so that they can't get in. And she's looking out the peephole, and this little kid runs up behind her and stabs her in the back with a screwdriver. She turns around, goes like, "Ah, you little shit," and just punches the kid, and he just falls flat on the ground. It's fantastic. And then she like sighs and leans back, and the screwdriver gets drove deeper into her back. So like it's just balls to the wall. It's like every second something's happening in this film. Yeah. And I've discussed it before with you how I'm a real big fan of like the Chekhov's gun idea. If you put something in a movie, use it. And so like this, she, after she drives a screwdriver into her back, she uses the bookshelf to like pull it out. And she's she's trying to figure out how to leave out of this room that she's barricaded herself in. The windows won't break. She can't get into like the vents. And then she realizes the floor, there's a underneath the carpet, there is like a door on the floor, but there's not like a latch or a handle or anything that you can get in there. She uses a screwdriver. At that point, I was like, this film, this great. I love the actor. And I think he wrote it too. Yeah, he wrote it with a guy named Alex Litvak. I have no idea, but yeah, I am.
We can do a short of us trying to pronounce foreign filmmakers' names.
Right. Yeah, this is like the first. He wrote Predators. Not wrong kind. No, it was Predators. Yeah, the Predators. Predator. It was written by this guy. So there was someone who had some writing chops that did this. Yeah. This film deserved at least twice what it made at the box office. It deserved to succeed. Well, and it's sad that
there are a lot of movies that do sort of pick up that mythical cult following, and you've got to get out of the theaters before that ever really happens. So
well, I mean, like Fight Club was one of those films. I don't think Fight Club did very well in the theater.
Yeah.
So it's just that I will buy this when it comes out. It's great.
Again, I'm talking about a film I haven't seen. So, but yeah, if it's open for a sequel, and they can somehow or another kind of push through and get to that, that's one of those things that might kind of bring people back to it too.
There are things I want to talk about in this film that I'm not going to, just because everything I've talked about is like the core premise, and it's like right in the very beginning. But there are some visuals that they have in this film that, like, as a video game player, I appreciate. I'm like, this is tickling my fancy. It's great. Yeah. It's
oh my goodness. I kind of wonder what kind of success it had. I mean, it's one of those things I've probably watched like at least 10 times. Mm-hmm. You've seen Hardcore Henry, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's stupid, but it's just so fun to watch.
I would say Octane levels like that and Crank. Yeah. I would put They Will Kill You near that. Not at it, but near.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of movie that...
Hardcore Henry is wild.
It's Wanted. Wanted is kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just... It's... I don't know how many times... I used to carry Wanted in my backpack. And when I was at work and there wasn't anything else to do, I'd watch Wanted again. Mm-hmm. And I love those movies that you can just throw in and just watch again. And they're kind of mindless, but you kind of need that sometimes.
This absolutely, for me, and I've said this before, where if you ask me what my favorite 20 films are of all time, today and tomorrow, you'll get two different lists.
Yeah.
Because it changes. But this will sit beside Evil Dead, clearly. It'll sit beside Fifth Element for me. I mean, this film is up there. Really is.
I need to track it down.
Yeah. And I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it after I've talked it up so much.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. That's They Will Kill You. Watch it if you like anything Sam Raimi or Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. Or Zazie Beetz.
Or Zazie Beetz. Yeah, she's fantastic in this film. Like I said, the way she plays Asia Reeves is just it's great. She knew who this character was.
I'm too old and too married to have crushes on younger actresses, but in a world where I do, she would be there. It kind of falls in that category too of just don't ever show me a video of her saying anything about the country or politics or anything. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I have no idea
if she hates everybody.
I have no idea what any kind of politics she has, and I don't care. I don't care. She's great in what she does.
Don't want to know.
she is definitely a leading woman. I mean, like talking about like Scarlett Johansson and Zoe Saldana and stuff like, she is in the next film that she is in. I'm assuming she's going to be the lead actress in it.
I'm going to spend all of my life
she's top billing
casting somebody to play Odetta Holmes in The Dark Tower, and it's never going to happen. And she's at that age where she could still do it, but you gotta
get going.
You gotta go. I guess
I kind of feel that way about you ever seen the show Vikings?
No.
Okay, there's a I always forget her name. There's a blonde woman that plays in the show Vikings.
Yeah. That
I'm like, she's the perfect Samus Aran. So like, if you're gonna make a live action Metroid film, you need to do that. You need to make it with her, but you got to hurry up because she's getting older.
I generally track down everything that looks good about Vikings, and I think at one point there's a season where they come in and there's like a black Viking queen or something, and I was like,
oh really?
I was like,
Catherine Winnick.
I was just like, nope, I'm not doing that show because you're just making stuff up, and I don't do that.
I also there's a comic series called Danger Girl, and it's very much like James Bond mixed with Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
And I did a fan casting where it's like Sydney Sweeney should play the main character, but then you have other characters that like Henry Cavill would be perfect for this one guy who's like the James Bond stand-in, but then they have Dutch, which is like the older guy that is like training all of them. He's like the Charlie in this.
Yeah.
But the character in the comic is based off of Sean Connery as an older man, and Pierce Brosnan would be perfect for that character now, especially because of who the character is based off of. But he has like all gray hair, he has a gray beard, and like visually they would look perfect. But it's like you're saying, you got to do it now.
Yeah, got to go.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll be back to
come back and
kind of wrap up.
Wrap it up.
All right. All right, and there's a couple of other things that we both kind of wanted to mention, but it wasn't really enough to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know why it seems like it's been so long since we did our last Appetizers. I think it's because for me, I do shows.
Yeah.
I go out of town for a couple weekends, and then we've actually been back. We had a little stretch to where we actually had time to sit down and watch stuff, and we watched a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't cover. Kind of had to decide what to go through for the show. We talked about Solo Leveling and the Teamer movies and stuff like that. But we had, I think I mentioned that I think our son got Peacock for like a month, so we could watch some Olympic stuff. We jumped in on the tail end of that and tried to see what else they had to watch, and basically found out that they had like 2 movies, and that was it. There was not much on there. But one of the first things we watched was I'd heard about it. I think it got an award or something, or maybe it's at the Oscars, maybe won something. I don't know. I don't follow that stuff. Doesn't mean anything anyway. But that movie Begonia.
Yeah.
It was kind of a good movie.
I want to see that. It looks weird.
It's weird. It's a good movie. There's really not much you can say about it that won't spoil stuff with it. Mm-hmm. It was an entertaining to watch. I don't think I'm going to watch it again. I said something to you before, or when we were talking before the show. It kind of felt to me like they're taking a shot at what they think most of the people in this part of the country are.
Okay.
That we're all conspiracy theorists and we're all crazy.
We're not all conspiracy theorists.
Conspiracy theory.
I wear my tinfoil hat from time to time.
Conspiracy theory at this point just means I'm just waiting for the evidence to come out on stuff. But
it has to keep having to put dollars in the Alex Jones was right jar.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a movie that deals with that. And I don't want to begrudge it and try to call balls and strikes. It was an entertaining watch. It was a well-made film, well-acted film. I don't know. I think it was whatever I took from it is probably like Weapons. I think we talked about that with Weapons, that you could watch that and kind of draw anything that you wanted to out of that.
Yeah.
What I drew out of it is it was a witch movie. Weapons was.
Yeah.
People had to try to assign all sorts of other things to that. I'm sure that's probably happened with this thing. I thought it was kind of a fun story about a kid, about an abduction, about a kidnapping. And that's pretty much all to say about that one. Also, while we were on Peacock, they had the Hugh Jackman movie called Song Sung Blue.
Neil Diamond, right?
I know we normally talk about like anime and sci-fi and stuff, so we're probably not a huge Neil Diamond following.
No, probably not. But
on any of this.
I'll tell you, Neil Diamond was really a part of my youth growing up. Like Neil Diamond was always being played on the tape.
I've successfully converted everybody in my household to be Neil Diamond fans. Mostly thankful, or I probably owe most of that to Midnight Mass. I don't know if you remember that series or not, but they're playing his music all through that, and that's kind of what got my kids into him. But the movie itself is actually about these guys a guy and a girl called Lightning and Thunder that were Neil Diamond impersonators. So it's actually the story of.
Okay, wait. So the Hugh Jackman doesn't play Neil Diamond; he plays. That's okay. That's funny because that really makes me more interested in it. Because when I saw like the trailer for it, I was half paying attention. I was like, I don't want to see a biopic about Neil Diamond where Hugh Jackman, the guy I think of as Wolverine, tries to play like he's Neil Diamond. That's funny. Okay, cool.
There's I watched it last night. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. It's called the same thing. It's called Song Sung Blue, a documentary about the couple. And they do a pretty good portrayal of it with the movie. Of course, they take some liberties, making it a little bit more dramatic in some parts. But it's a really good portrait. The movie itself is of the '80s, and my wife's from Wisconsin, so she actually was kind of chiming in. It's like, I'm pretty sure, like I know had people in my school that had those jeans and had this. It's like I think they went through and it might be because everybody around Milwaukee still had all their clothes from the '80s, but it's a really good portrayal of '80s culture and just a good story about just like regular people just trying to get by, because that's what the story is. These people never got to be rich and famous. They had a couple moments that were kind of local fame, and it's they had the same kind of pains and tragedies that a lot of just normal people have. Some addiction problems and financial trouble and kids that were hard to raise. I mean,
I get really wrapped up in you and I both watch anime, but I also get wrapped up in like science fiction and horror. And it's really easy to get like isolate yourself in this media to where all you ever really see is stuff that's really fantastical and kind of out there. And
there's some stuff that happens with this thing. I mean, it's not spoiling anything because it's their life story. It's not like it's a big reveal, but they portrayed it really well in the movie, and they go into a lot more detail of it in the documentary. They live in a lower middle class neighborhood. She's outside like working on the garden in front of her house, and an old guy just comes off of a road nearby, hits a parked car, bounces off the car, and runs over her.
Oh.
And she loses a leg, and that's part of the struggles that they have for the rest of her life. Is she
dealing with that?
She's getting surgeries, and she got on pain medicines and stuff like that. She put on weight, couldn't go perform, didn't want to go perform, and just a lot of that kind of story. And again, they didn't become rich and famous from it. It was just kind of this cool little story about two people and just living their lives. And
so sometimes it's nice to take a break from the really fantasy heavy and really fantastic stories and just watch a story about people living their lives.
It's just
sounds nice.
Probably one of the more rewatchable things that I've talked about today. Excuse me. That I'd love to go back and watch it. It's one of the ones I talked about. I was going to buy off Amazon when I was there, and I went and looked, and it was like 20. It was like $25 or $26. I'm like, man,
nah.
It's like I was coming on here to buy a $12 DVD. It's like I'm gonna probably go back and get it.
It sounds like the kind of movie that you might find in the $5 Walmart bin someday.
I was an old man begrudging the price of stuff, and I was like, nope.
That's daily, man.
Yep.
Why is it so expensive?
Oh, the other thing, I forgot to throw it up here. We watched it last night. Operation Taco Gary's.
Yeah, I saw that. Saw the trailer. Speaking of something that's ridiculous and bombastic.
This is a waste of time, man.
Really?
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
All right, so when I saw the trailer, I really thought of like, dude, where's my car? So is it like that level of just stupid?
I laughed multiple times at it. I would not sit down and watch it again. It has one of the funniest like foot pursuits I think I've ever seen.
Okay.
Where there are two of the guys running from two older deputies. That's classic. But it's one of those things that kind of goes from some funny moments into we're kind of getting tired of, we understand how crazy the characters are, to the people that were writing it thinking, how do we wrap this up? And it just gets dumb.
Yeah. Okay.
It's if it's an hour and 25 minutes, I would watch it in front of like watching episode of the Mandalorian season 8 or
Right.
whatever kind of garbage is on Disney. But I remember we talked about it in a trailer episode, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it might be.
I think it looks stupid fun.
It was stupid fun, but it's dumb. It's not like so far into the good dumb level that I'll be like, oh, yeah, you gotta watch it.
Right. Right.
It's if you want to waste an hour and 25 minutes, there's probably a handful of ways that would be worse ways to waste them. But
well, the last thing I want to talk about was just Shudder as a platform.
I miss Shudder so bad. We had it as part of AMC Plus that we picked up to try to do Better Call Saul, right? Isn't that where that was on?
AMC, yeah.
I think that was the reason we got it.
Yeah.
And then found out that they were only keeping it on there for like the week that the episodes came out, and we got really ticked off with that whole process. But that was the shining light of having AMC Plus, was having access to Shudder. I mean, some of the stuff on Shudder is so good.
I don't recall how I got it. You get so many offers for things nowadays. But I got an offer for like a week free or whatever, and I was like, sure, why not? Let's check it out. And I watched a few movies, and nothing that, like, they have Phantasm on here. I watched a couple of those the VHS films. You know what I'm talking about, where it's just like
the found footage.
Yeah,
kind of
it's like it's like found footage, but also it's a bunch of little short stories put together.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed those. Nothing to explicitly say, hey, this is worth a watch, but it's just, it was nice to have a reliable service to where it's like, hey, you know what you're getting. If you watch a movie on this service, you're going to get some. It's going to be some kind of schlock, but it's going to be fun.
It's some of the most original stuff that's probably out there, honestly. A lot of witchcraft stuff, which I'm not into that genre because it kind of usually a lot of times spins into other stuff that I don't care to get into those movies. But but there's you gotta be ready on some of those, that if it's a Shudder movie, it's gonna
be bloody.
It's gonna be bloody, and if you're squeamish, most of the movies on there are just not something to get into. I was trying to find it and I couldn't. It's called stop motion, isn't it? I think I've said something about that on here before.
Stop motion
film. Yeah, it's a 2023 movie.
Okay.
It literally got to the point that I was like, I don't know how much more of this I can watch.
Oh, I think you mentioned it before.
Yeah, it's gross. I mean, it was a pretty cool movie. It was very creepy, very disturbing on multiple levels. A lot of like psychological abuse kind of thing in the movie too. So you can't be like, oh, that was a fun movie, because it really wasn't fun. But I do like challenges from movies sometimes. And it got bloodier than I like to get. And I was like, man.
Well, it looks like that movie Mad God. I spoke about it before. It's on there.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah. Okay, this movie is the whole reason I was looking for a movie called Blood Machines, and I forget who made it, but I got introduced to the concept of Blood Machines because I watched some other film and I was like, this is a cool film. I like the way they made it.
Yeah, that's a little short thing.
Blood Machines.
Yes.
Well, it's
like
50
minutes.
Yeah, it's shortish.
Yeah.
But like I really don't have anything to say about it. It was fun. I enjoyed it, but it's not something I would like recommend to people.
Yeah. No, there was a animated thing that they did on there, and again, I'm not going to be able to dig that out of my memory, even of how to search it. It was almost in the style of like the old Heavy Metal cartoons.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the things that's like when we found out we were going to have Shudder, I was like, oh man, I can actually see that. We watched that, and it was cool. It was kind of cool to watch. Not another same category. Not one of those things I'd be like, man, got to tell everybody about that so they can watch it.
Right.
But
all right.
Yeah, well, Shudder. I don't know. I'm sure you can get it as a standalone service instead of being part of something. Seems
Well,
like most of the
well,
time.
right now it's like $9 a month, and I've gone past the 7 or 8 days I had it for free, so I'm paying for it monthly at this point.
But you're just doing Shutter.
Yeah, it's just Shutter.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I see it attached to other services all the time. I didn't know if you could actually get it just by itself.
And similar to what I was saying about how like I like searching for things at the Roku level, you can have like a Roku account, and you can sign up through Roku on these things, and so it's really easy to cancel because you just go to your Roku account and cancel it.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that's really dissuaded me from signing up for certain things, because I'm like, I don't feel like going through the process of cancellation.
Yeah.
Spotify is like that. Recently, it was like hey, you want a month free of Spotify? I was like, yeah, I'll take a month free of Spotify. It was like 2 months or something like that, and I was going to sign up for it on my phone, and it was like, sign into PayPal. I'm like, let me use my Apple thing. I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm looking for ease of sign up and ease of cancellation. That's what I want.
Yeah, they're looking for how can we make it so convoluted that you forget that you have it, and we bill you for 3 months after you think you're done with it.
And that's the whole thing. Like I like signing in with my Apple ID, because I can go to my like Apple ID account and be like, well, what am I paying for recurring? And I can cancel stuff right from there.
Yeah.
I don't like having all these disparate ways to pay for things anymore. I've been coddled a little too much when it comes to that.
I get the little temptation every once in a while of like, hey, you can get this for 7-day trial.
Yeah.
I can do that and I can watch that. And I'm like, nah, I'm just not going to do that.
The only reason I did it with this is because it let me sign up through Roku, and it's real easy to cancel through Roku. So
yeah.
Yep. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is going to be our main course, which is going to be Akira.
Yes.
This is a foundational anime, if there ever were one. This and Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. I think we'll have a little meeting ahead of time to see how to handle it. I think we could do more than one episode on it, and we'll see if we want to do that or not, or if we would just want to try to cut it down a little bit and see. There's lots of ways to go, lots of things to talk about with that one. So
yeah, well, I think we'll have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. But that was our appetizers for this month.
These were our actual appetizers.
Those were the actual appetizers. I think it was a good month. I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff I watched. There were some series that I watched that at the end of it, I was like, I don't want to come on. It's like we've talked about before. Yeah. I don't want to come on here and just rag on something. Like I ragged on Monster Hunter, but I was like, you know what? I enjoyed it. It wasn't good, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But some of the things I watched, I was like, I'm just gonna go on a little rant, and I don't want to go on a rant, so I'm not going to talk about it.
I try to target what we're watching, and I do a lot of previewing things before other people in our house watch stuff, so that it is something that we enjoy and we don't get into it and be like, really?
Right.
That was kind of what happened to me on the Legacy, the Monsters Monarch thing. It started off as like, well, this is pretty good, and then it's like, oh, okay.
This isn't about Godzilla and monsters.
Yeah, and I think the second season, from what I've heard, is just as bad, if not worse. So,
well, I mean that
we try to find nice things. It's hard. This world doesn't want us to have nice things a lot of the time for whatever reason. I don't understand.
You and I, we've equated your love for Godzilla like my love for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I have long gotten to the point with the Ninja Turtles where I was like, well, there's some stuff that they make that's just not for me, which is fine. But mine it's not for me because it's for kids, and I'm not going to enjoy it because it's for kids.
Yeah.
Like the latest stuff with Seth Rogen, the stuff Seth Rogen is making with the Ninja Turtles, the Mutant Mayhem. I'm like, that's just not for me.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. So maybe just there's some Godzilla media. Well, like you don't like the Godzilla comics. You're not really into the Godzilla comics. That's just not for you.
I'm not into just everybody else that jumps on it trying to make money off of him.
Yeah.
Just give me the real stuff.
All right. Well, the real stuff is what we're going to talk about next. Next episode will be Akira.
Yeah, I think I can even tie Akira into Godzilla. So.
Absolutely. We'll talk about that then.
All right.
All right.
Later.
Thanks, Joel.